to tap oral traditions and therein add on to the facade of oral history. Many academic institutions are, in fact, incorporating oral history as a relevant subject, and its multidisciplinary approach is yielding high returns. With that end in view, it's an honor for us to have with us today as resource person Dr. Biman Hazarika, who is the principal of Dhing College Assam and had been the head of the Department of History in the same college earlier. We are thankful that he has agreed to participate in the webinar at such a short notice on a very interesting and hitherto unexplored subject of history in the region. We are also pleased to have with us today Dr. Lilakanta Bhatthakur, Principal Sir of Morikav College, who has given us the push to organize the webinar and has been in constant connection with us and kept himself updated about our progresses. Amongst us today, we are also thankful to have Dr. Jogan Kolita Sir. He is the president of the governing body of Morikav College and the professor in charge of the International Relations Office, Guwahati University. Dr. Hemlata Sharma, vice principal of Morikav College, is also present amongst us, and we also welcome all the faculty members of various departments of Morikav College who are here with us today. I would now request Dr. Deepak Kolita Sir, head in charge of Department of History, Morikav College, to deliver the welcome address. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Suman. Namaskar and very good evening to all of you. Respected Principal Morikav College, Dr. Lilakanta Bhatthakur, respected Governing Body President, Professor Jatin Chandra Kolita Sir, respected resource person, Dr. Biman Hazarika, Principal Dhing College, respected Vice Principal Morikav College, Dr. Hemlata Sharma, respected participants. On the behalf of Department of History and entire family of Morikav College, I welcome you to this one-day national webinar on oral history, prospects and perspectives in Northeast India. In this great moment, we would hotly reminded our former HOD, Dr. Himanshu Sharma, who had joined in this department in 2006. But due to unidentified disease, he left us in November 24th, 2020. Actually, after his joining the department, as if due to his mission and vision, department achieved a lot of success, and we feel that today's academic journey has been started due to the blessings of this divine soul. Again, I welcome you to this national webinar on the behalf of Department of History and Morikav College. Thank you. Over to you, Suman.
Was Suman, mic to mute, sir. The mic is mute.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Mic is mute.
Okay. I got that. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Moving forward, I now request Dr. Lilakanta Bhatthakur, sir, Principal of Morikav College, to deliver the inaugural speech. Sir,
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Suman. Good afternoon to everyone. Honorable Morikav College Governing Body President and Head of the Department Zoology, Guwahati University, Professor in charge, International Relations Office, Guwahati University, General Secretary of the Zoological Society of Assam, Professor Jogan Chandra Kolita Sir, Honorable Resource Person, my friend Dr. Biman Hazarika, Principal Dhing College, respected Vice Principal Morikav College, Dr. Hemlata Sharma, IQAC Coordinator Dr. Ranjiv Kolita, Head of the Department of History, Deepak Kolita, other faculty members, Suman Das, Nikhil Deka, Rajvallabh Nath, and the esteemed participants who have joined across the country in this webinar. Thank you for all for joining this webinar in this good evening. I am very much thankful to the Department of History for organizing this webinar for the first time in their department, in association with alumni of their department. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this webinar on oral history, prospect and perspective on in the Northeast India. I offer my sincere thanks to the faculty members of different departments of Morigaon College for joining this webinar. The topic which has been identified for discussion is very apropos to the local and national issues. I hope that this seminar will look into the problems and the prospects of oral history and its relevance for the construction of history of Northeast in today's context. I also hope it will critically discuss how the concepts of oral traditions have appropriately been used in different historical contexts and how it has changed the course of history of Northeast India. I ensure the webinar will be very fruitful for every one of us. It will provide not only essential knowledge, but also a great opportunity to share experiences. Before concluding my short inaugural speech, on behalf of the institution, I would like to offer my regards and a deep gratitude to the resource person, Dr. Biman Hazarika, and the other distinguished scholars and the participants for giving their precious time and the coming over for the webinar. I would also like to express my sincere regards and thankfulness to our governing body president, Dr. Jugen Kolita sir, for inspiring and providing us support to carry on the best academic activities of the college. With these few words, I warmly welcome you again to this national webinar, and I declare that this webinar is inaugurated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. We'll now proceed to the introduction to the resource person speech to be delivered by Raj Pallav Nath, faculty member, Department of History, Morigaon College. I request Raj Pallav Nath, sir, to take over.
Thank you, Suman. A very good evening to one and all. Respected Principal of Morigaon College, Dr. Lilakanta Bhattakur sir. Respected President of Governing Body of Morigaon College, Dr. Jugen Chandra Kolita sir. Respected Resource Person of today's session, Dr. Biman Hazarika sir. Respected Vice Principal of Morigaon College, Dr. Hemalata Sharma Madam. Respected Head of the Department of History, Deepak Kolita sir, and all the esteemed participants of today's webinar. I thank you for providing me the opportunity to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Biman Hazarika, and give you a glimpse of his academic achievements. Dr. Biman Hazarika is an associate professor of history and also the current principal of Dean College, Nagaon, Assam. Dr. Hazarika graduated from Cotton College, Guwahati, and obtained his PhD from Guwahati University in 2012 on the topic Norwa Group of Satras and his contributions towards Neo-Vaishnavite movement of Assam. He has also to his credit more than 25 highly acclaimed research papers published in journals and proceedings of various national and international conferences and seminars. And he has also contributed few chapters in the text and reference books of history and allied subjects. Dr. Hazarika has completed a UGC-sponsored major research project entitled A Study of Fine Art of Neo-Vaishnavite Satras of Assam, with special reference to illustrated manuscripts and wood carving in 2018. Dr. Hazarika is also the life member of Northeast India History Association, Indian Art History Congress, Indian History Congress, Assam Sahitya Sabha, and many other historical and literary organizations of the nation. His book, Restoration of a Vasudev Statue in Assam, deals with the discovery and restoration of the Vasudeva Vishnu idol in historical perspectives. It is also a convincing testimony of close relationship in between Assam and the rest of India in religio-cultural and economic activities. Thank you, and I would like to request my colleague Suman Das to continue with the further programs. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Shubhendranath, sir. Now we'll proceed to the main session today, the technical session today. I would now request Dr. Biman Hazarika, sir, to start with his technical session, and we welcome him wholeheartedly on behalf of the Department of History. Sir, over to you now.
Namaskar. Welcome you all to this special session being organized by Department of History, Morigaon College, in association with Alumni Association, Morigaon College. It's a great honor for me to share my thought on a very pertinent discipline of history, that is oral history. And before sharing this thought, I offer my heartiest thanks to esteemed participants, and particularly Principal of Morigaon College, Lilakanta Borthakur sir. He is my friend, of course. And Jugan Kolita sir, one of the eminent scholar of Northeast, and other participants and esteemed members of various departments and various universities and institutions. So, before wasting much time, I would like to share my slides, and through my slides, I would like to carry out my presentations. So bear with me, since we are very much struck with our administrative works. So as we expected, I would like to share simple definitions and some of the important components of oral history, and pertaining to particularly my area of operation or my area of interest, that is Neo-Vaishnavite Chatras. And I would like to throw or shed some light on this particular aspect. To the one. Clear?
আহিছে দেখা পাইছে
দেখা পাইছে
দেখা পাইছে
এতিয়া আপোনালোকে শুনা পাইছে ভালকে am I audible
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
The first slide is no needs of introduction, oral history, prospects and perspectives in Northeast India. And the first line I would like to share here, rather quote here, Tete ka osam ene kakayera. This is the earliest most quote made on oral history, and it is a Ghana proverb. It means ancient things remain in the air. Let me start with the definition part. According to Collins Dictionary, oral history is a process for recording and preserving first-hand information in structured interview settings and making the story to others. The modern concept of oral history begins with the work of Alan Nevins at Columbia University in the 1940s, who initiated a disciplined effort to record on tape, preserve, and make available for the future research recollections deemed of historical significance. Earlier times, as I tell, Herodotus and Thucydides made extensive use of the oral reports from various witnesses. To quote A. Portelli, oral history, first of all, refers to, quoted to, what the source, that means the narrator, and the historian, that is the interviewer of the oral history, do together at the moment of their encounter in the interview. Let me share a slide. You should always listen to older people. They are like living history books and can teach you so much. So we have to rely upon old men, or that should be the man or the man whom we relying upon must be an old person. This is what is oral history all about. To be precise, it is a spoken account, reflects personal opinion offered by a narrator, and as such, it is a subjective. Oral histories may be used together with other primary sources as well as secondary sources to gain understanding and getting insight into history. And let me share some thoughts of Zha Vansina, the primary figure, the person behind the popularity of oral history. In his path-breaking work, Oral Tradition, a study in historical methodology, published in 1965, he defined oral tradition consists of all verbal testimonies which are reported statements concerning the past. So while he was writing his book, he divides some of the component likewise. That is, for generation of messages, he gives these things, these components. That is news, eyewitness, hearsay, vision, dreams, hallucinations, the interpretations of experience, reminiscence, commentaries, verbal art are all the components of generation of messages. Then the next part is dynamic process of traditions. For this particular component, memorized speech is very much important, and accounts, historical gossips, personal traditions, group account, traditions of origin and genesis, cumulative accounts, so on and so forth. So here is the person who categorized oral evidence as an historical source and providing the test and be sifted and weighted for the purpose of writing history. To point out and discuss the practical relationship between history and social anthropology and other disciplines, he highlighted or underlined these particular aspects. Provide theoretical justification. He went on saying that provide theoretical justification for both the collection and use of oral history, oral evidence in history. And in general, to open up, as Vansina modestly says, a vast subject to which he has contributed this particular introduction. Then some other quotes I would like to refer here or cite here. The means by which knowledge is reproduced, preserved and conveyed from generation to generation, oral traditions from the foundation of aboriginal societies, mostly connected with the aboriginal societies, connecting the speaker and the listener in communal experiences and uniting past and present in memory. This has been quoted by René Holland and Renata Egenbaum. So coming to my own country, what Indians say. Indians are marvelous storytellers. In some ways, that the oral tradition is stronger than the written tradition. In Indian society, definitely we have gone through, or we have observed this type of things. Since 1980, actually, oral history has become a methodology of the ethnic communities in order to liberate it from colonial and other hegemonic writings. History has replaced oral traditions. Similarly, the most of the ethnic communities of Northeast India, the topic of today's webinar is particularly relates to Northeast India. In Northeast India, it disposes by any written records and documents. Oral traditions of the community are not a passive depository of facts, but an active process of creation and attributions of historical meaning to the past. Like other parts, oral history of Northeast India can enhance scholars in reconstruction of the history of the communities through the studying of various living oral traditions. Here in Northeast India, we have seen so many living traditions still exist in some part of Northeast India, particularly Meghalaya, Arunachal, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, etc., etc. It is an interesting to see how the concept of oral traditions have appropriately been analyzed in different historical contexts and how it has changed the course of history of Northeast India. shedding new lights. It's our duty to shedding new lights on the Northeast oral history, which will help to explore historical past, but that also the rule of plural narratives of the ethnic communities that influence in shaping their history, migration, and contesting itself in diverse forms of ideas by taking up the oral history as discourse. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you
sir.
are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Then coming to my trust area, that is the Neo-Vaishnavite movement, and how oral history was created or oral history exists, and that helps in creating Neo-Vaishnavite history. We have learned, but we have gone through the various aspects of Katha Guru Sarita, which is the most important and authentic oral source that sheds floods of light on fresh lights upon the political and economic conditions of medieval Assam. Thus, since 16th century onwards, the narration of the story of Vaishnavite Guru came to be cultivated as rich tradition. Our Guru, Srimanta Shankardeva himself, shared in the daily congregations tales about his masters. Who were his masters? Rama and Krishna. Use of comparisons, examples, quotations from the verses, phrases and idioms and direct speeches are the most notable characteristics of these medieval traditions. That is Katha Guru Sarita. Following him, some of his apostles excelled in later the art of narrating the activities of master in such oral discourse. And this discourse has been continuing since the time of Madhava Deva and other disciples. A living tradition, this is oral history, speaking history, was thus emerged, who is brought down to us many of minute details of lives of the Shankara and his apostles. Then who was the history tellers? Who was the oral history tellers? Budha Bhakata, that is elderly monks of the Satras, of many Satras, whose duty is to keep and copy different Guru Saritas and to narrate the lives of the Gurus, speak like books in an inspired language, the character of which has scarcely sense. In some of the areas in Assam, still we have some villages like Soritto Bori, Soritpat Bori, etc., etc. One of the discernible features is in content and detail. The narration of the Budha Bhakata in one part of the country does not differ from other part. It proves that how far this oral history was accurate in Neo-Vaishnavite movement. Exponent of oral history. We have got two persons who were known as the exponent of oral history, that is Chakrapani Boiragi Atoy and Dhananjoy Atoy. Chakrapani Boiragi, a Brahman scholarly adherent of Narwa Satra, and who was died in 1758, and he was known to be the real speaker of Guru Sarit Katha or Katha Guru Sarit. The features of this Guru Sarit Katha, it was very much dignified and homely, making the narrative flow easily. The discursive has its language and style elegance, and the familiar scenes and dialogues glow with the fireside intimacy. Here, Northern Indian language have been felt also. That is called, we have here under Katha Guru Sarita, a special language also developed in Assam, that is medieval Assam, Matbuli Farsi. Matbuli Farsi. It did not mean the Persian Hindi, but it is a mixture of Perso-Arabic languages. Shankardeva's Bhatima, Pekhi Sunaro Sabha Maze Azai. It is also a Bhasa of Parsimati. This is being incorporated and appended in the Katha Guru Sarita, none other than by Upendra Chandra Lekharo in 1952. It was published by Guwahati University. Then, if I go to our Kamrupa and Asama, the origin of Kamrupa and Asama, then also we have seen this type of oral history origin. The god of love, Kamadeva, all we know, regained his form here after having been burned to ashes by Lord. The term may be of Boru origin, that is a Boru word that is originated, which denotes and explained as kham or kam. To burn, or ru or rubo means dust or ashes. Meaning is restricted after completely burned into ashes. Kamaikha and Kamarupa may be the Sanskritized form of Boru word Kamaikha or Kamru, Kamui is also known as Pragojyotisha and Pragojyotispura, perhaps the corruption of the Boru word Puranga Jyotipura, meaning land of cleanliness and light. And not to speak of the Kamarupa, we have the modern word Assam. If we look into the modern word Assam, that is also recorded in oral history, that ascribes as a vulgar form of Sanskrit word Ahomo, meaning uneven. Shankardeva in his Bhagavata Purana retained these oral sources during the early 16th century and popularized the name of Ahomo in various ways. That is Kirata Kosari Khasi Garumiri, Javono Kongo Gualo, Ahomo Muluko, Dhoboko Ituruko, Kuboso, Breso, Sandalo. It incorporates each and every ethnic group existed during the time of Mahapurush Srimanta Shankardeva that was incorporated in Book 2, Bhagavata Purana. Then I am coming to a very interesting aspect of oral history, that is the lore reflects history. Vaishnavpur Salsali means full of water. Bordua Singhali, that is Bordua remains a seat of internecine conflict among the descendants of Shankardeva after his death, and that continued till 18th century, and it was resolved with the intervention of Ahumki. Balisatra Mazeko, there is a Satra named Balisatra, located in the midst of the water body. Neosakwa Rampur, it was deserted by the disciples of this Satra and now lost by the Vaishnava devotees. This saying perhaps a perfect picture, this provides a perfect picture of the socio-political condition of that particular period. It is taken as a trustworthy source, a supplement to rewrite or reconstruct the history of that particular period. Vaishnavpur, Salsali, Bordua, Kinghali, Balikhotra, Mazeku, Neosakwa, Rampur. This was the lore which was widely circulated in Assam. Then another lore I would like to cite here or share here, that is Ujai Norwa Bhutia Bordua, Mazot Bakudevor Than, Lagoni Birik Oi Lagibule Napali, Musukai Bhangili Than. The line 1 denotes Norwa Than, that is located in Dhemaji. It is located in Dhemaji, that is geographically it is proved. The Bordua in the downstream, that is from Norwa to Bordua, that is Bordua is located in the downstream of Brahmaputra. And in the middle stands Basudevor Than, that is Mazot Basudevor Than, that is in the Dhokua Khana. The line 3 reflects the political conditions or turmoil prevailing of that time. A growing tree could not grow into fruition, premature or ideally twisted and broken, indicated the political turmoil when the Burmese horde invaded that particular Satra and burned it down. Then is one of the important aspect of Assamese folklore or folk culture or literature, that is Dakor Bason. Dakor Bason, as we all know that those who are living in Assam, that saying associated with the person called a Dak, which were mainly concerned with the daily life of the members of the agricultural society. The basic text of Dakor Bason is the wisdom of many and the wit of none. That apart from Dakor Bason, which helps a lot in reconstructing the history of Assam or history of elsewhere, ballads, historical ballads and mythological ballads, which are circulated through air to air, that is Borfukonor Git, Moriam Dewanor Git, Doli Puran, that is related with the peasant movement of Assam, Lali Hilali Git, which is being circulated in Morigaon district, and Zungal Bolohur Git, and that is Zukanga. The Zungal Bolohur Git, the Deolangkui, the novel written by renowned novelist Rita Soduri, took lot of information out of these sources, that is Lali Hilali Git and Zungal Bolohur Git and other Goits which are published in the district of Morigaon. Then it's a very interesting that Bihu song also provides some of the important oral informations, oral sources in writing our history. Bihu song is the most prominent and popular song, folk song of Assam, which reflected the rural agriculture society, social and political life of Assam for several centuries. That is another aspect, since this is being organized by Morigaon College, so I have to refer here, that is Miki Goya Goit describe the origin of the Tiwas of Central Assam, mostly inhabited in Morigaon district and Central Assam. Folklorist Bolai Khanapoti, Ganesh Khanapoti of Morigaon, Assam are such exponents of oral history. That is, after completing my stray references on my part of Assam, that is, I am coming to the second part, that is Meghalaya. the Khasis and Jaintias of Meghalaya had no written literature of their own in the past, but had many wise saying, proverbs, incantations, fables, and folk songs, which were in the oral form, and that helps a lot in reconstructing the history of Meghalaya during the time of the Britishers. Khasi had been pre-literate till attempts were made by the William Carey, a British missionary between 1813 to 1838, to write the language with a different script. Oral tradition also refers to the same, but in the some version mentioned that their script was destroyed by water. Wise saying, as we said, in Assam also wise saying was there, in Khasi also wise saying was there. The Khasi relates moral code of conduct, particularly Ka Jingang Seng Taimen Men was written by Radhun Singh Berry in 1902. According to Berry, Ka Abor etiquette gives dignity, self-esteem, tolerance, understanding both to the giver and the receiver. Proverbs are also very much circulated in Meghalaya. Proverbs are meant to instruct parents, children, and the society as a whole. They possess a lot of folk tales which help in imparting moral values regarding many walks of life. For example, for their conjugal life, epic is a very important part in Meghalaya also, like that of our Ramayana. Epic speaks of deeds of warriors and heroes. It is polygonal, as the heroic story incorporates myth, legend, folk tales, and history. Two kinds of epics are found in Meghalaya, that is, one is primitive and other is oral. The oral epic also helped a lot in reconstructing the early history of Meghalaya. That is, coming to the Arunachal Pradesh. The Arunachal Pradesh, as we know, a home of 26 major tribes and subtribes, in which Monpa, the Khamti, and the Mimba is having their own script. Otherwise, the Abhu, Thani tribes and living in the middle zones, they have no their written records, etc. and scripts as well. Hence, traditional societies of Arunachal Pradesh offer a conspicuous refutations of rich oral traditions in form of legends, myths, poems, stories, folklores, folktales, etc. The custodian of these oral traditions and verbal communication are the Nibu or Miri, that is the priest of that particular region or particular state, who play the role of preserving, continuing, and memorizing these different aspects of tradition practices from generations to generations. So it comes down and goes down from generations to generations, this type of poems, this type of stories, this type of folklores, etc., etc., so and so forth. A strict divisions between oral and literary societies is manifestly inappropriate for the communities. It would seem that indigenous traditional life in Arunachal Pradesh is gradually disappearing, although the social memory of surviving elders is passing down to the next generation with all imitation. That is, coming to the Nagaland and its oral history. In the oral narratives of Muluwuri, the people who migrated to their present habitat from Rengma area in Nagaland in the distant past is a traditional tradition well entrenched in their oral history. This is the Muluwuri episode. The legendary narratives mention of an incident on a day when the women folk were drying paddy in their courtyards. A white stag appeared in the middle of the village and vaulted across several bamboo mats before escaping into the wild area. I am not describing the entire story since it was already recorded. The belief of the Laniri Nale, that is enemy's practitioner, is in one supreme being reverently addressed as Nui Nuyaza Kuizua. Niu is a courteous form of address used in addressing the grandfather. It connotes the highest degree of respect and honor in social and kinship relationship. In the same way, Kuizua means the great one, referring to the greatness of Nuyuzua. So this is a simply introductions of how the history of Nagaland is being supplemented by oral history, oral traditions. Oral traditions methods would definitely help in documenting previously undocumented information, as I have already narrated about rituals, customs, social organization, myths, legends, indigenous science, and knowledge migration and origins, so and so forth. This will complement or supplement the information already in the records. fill gaps in the ethnographic data. That is very important. Brings out new and previously unknown facts about the tribes. This should provide a new insight, I hope, into the existing information as believed by other scholars and correct the distorted account of the communities. This is being cited by Tana Sorin, one of the important observer of oral history. The language of Guru Suri represent the, as I already mentioned, represent the spoken word of Assam of 16th and 18th century, also help and in generating on originating the Brajavali Bhasha. Then coming to the problems, the part of problems, what happens, what are the problems of getting into account or taking into account the oral history sources. Problems in oral history methodology is associated with informant. The first problem arises out of informant. Selection of informant is very important. Whether the group of people are selected available to interview or is representative of the general people or not. With the location of the interview, that is also an important point raised by oral historians. The degree of trust in the interviewers, etc., also comes into our discussion. Thompson provides evidence that the memories of the elderly people have of their youth and life are about as reliable as any form of historical evidence, asserting that the problem of memory power is not much more serious for interviews with old people in normal health than it is with younger and adults. How can historians be sure that events are being reported accurately, even honestly? This cannot be taken into perfect or taken into account perfectly, whether historians be sure that the events are being reported accurately or not. Most oral historians are aware that the perfectly frank interview, of course, is only a myth, not history. Then I would like to conclude my discourse with some of my observations. Oral history helps in documenting previously undocumented informations about the rituals, customs, social organizations, myths, legends, indigenous signs, and knowledge, migrations, and origin. Oral tradition transmitted the fact visualized by the orator from the earliest to the present. If we look into the various aspects of oral history, then we see that what Shankardeva has created, the traditions of discussing something orally in some discourses being organized in Namghar and Satta, that was carried forth by his disciples, by his apostles in different part of Assam or Northeast. For instance, I have already mentioned about Chakrapani Boiragi Atoi. He was called also a roving monk of Assam. Why? He had been traveled a lot while he was going to take account of various satras situated in various parts of Brahmaputra Valley. And he went to various satras and collected various sources. What are the sources for writing his history or writing the history of New Vaishnavite movement? The sources are the old people, old monks, Burha Bhokotas, who were at that time resided or lived in their own satras. They told him everything. The Chakrapani Boiragi was informed that this was the original satra, this was the huts built by Mahapurush Madhavadeva, this was the place where Madhavadeva and Shankaradeva were meeting, that was the Majuli. Then this was the particular symbols being used by the Mahapurush Simanta Shankaradeva. This was not written. These informations were not recorded. This was told. These informations were shared by the old monk of the Satras. And in case of other sources, as I told you, as I shared here with my esteemed listeners, esteemed participants, that in some myths and in some legends, that is that I'm going to talk about, that is I have already mentioned that is Doli Puranor Git. Doli Puranor Git, in which the entire episode of pigeon history was reflected. That is still circulated in Dorong district of Assam. So and so forth. That is the Lali Hilali Git. Then I was associated while I was doing my PhD works and major research work. I had been to Morigaon many a time, and I went to a particular village that is called Miki Goya village, where I met some old Bhokotos, old Budha Bhokotos, who informed me, who provided me a lot of information that was, most of them were oral, that I incorporated in my research work and reflected in my research work and various research paper. And I believe, and still I honor those people who had that capacity, that memory so far they had carried in their brain and shared with me so many informations regarding the origin of the Setua. Why Setua? So who was Setua? No information was actually being given by any and in any other sources that is called history. It was found only in the memory of people. That is, people inform me, but people inform other scholars, other research interested persons who had been to that place, that Setua was the founder of a particular clan of Mikis or Tiwas. So the information does percolated down from one generation to another generation, and when that particular old man or old source of information died down, then the particular source of information is also died. So it is a very tragic thing that before the expiry, before the passing away of old monks, old Bhokotos, old persons of various villages, we have to record the sources of oral history in various sources. So today we are living in a digitized world. So many sources are handy right now, and we have to, it is our duty to record. And since Himanshu Sharma, the former head of the institution, who died unfortunately very young, and he was that person who was involved in a particular project of writing the history of Puroni Gudam, and he was very much informative in that sense that he collected most of the information regarding a particular place, that is the local history. Then if we are going to write local history, that is a very interesting aspect of present day history. That is, we have to rely upon the oral sources. That is Biyanam, that is being circulated in various areas of Assam right now also. That is also very important information. That also provides a very important information, the socio-economic condition of particular that period. If you look into the Bihu song, then we see how the Sorgodeo or kings of Ahoms were adored, how they were praised. Sorgodeo ulale batsara mukhole, duliye patile dula. And this sort of Bihu or Husori, in Husori also we have seen so many information. We may able to gather so many informations from this folk lore and folk culture. Thus, oral traditions are becoming a specialist knowledge to understand the indigenous music, dance, culture, custom, art, religion, and political institutions, the non-literate people. This will complement or supplement the information already in accounts of some communities of Northeast India. For instance, Deolangkhui. I would like to refer this particular novel, the history-based novel being written by Rita Chaudhary. While she was carrying out her project of writing Deolangkhui, she went to Morigaon and various parts of Morigaon, and she studied hard the history of Morigaon. But first of all, she studied the history of Morigaon, Datiolia, Buronji, etc., etc. But apart from that, she got lot of information. She received lot of information from the local people. Like I have already mentioned, that is Balairam Thenapati is one of the most important source of oral history of Morigaon district, as he provided, and Ganesh Thenapati and some others. I had been to a very particular person who was there, perhaps he is still there at Morigaon. This is Moneshwar Deuri. he also provided a lot of information regarding the history of Setua and its connection with the Norwa Khotra of Assam, and how the Setua was associated with Norwa Khotra, and how Setua and the Mikigoya village helped in this rediscovering Bordua. I would like to I would like to share here a very important information regarding the recovery or reclamation of Bordua, in which Setua Roja, that is who was in king of Morigaon, Setua Roja, the petty chief of the Mikis, he helped a lot I Konoglota and Damodar in reclaiming Bordua in 17th century. And it is because of the oral sources. It is with the help of oral sources they were successful in rediscovering Bordua. While they were coming from Western Assam, they had to collect some sources how they will reach Bordua. And for this, I Konoglota, the leader of the women team, and Damodar Atta, leader of the male team of Neo-Vaishnavite disciples who went to Bordua and went in search of Bordua, the lost site of Mahapurush Srimanta Shankardeva. So, with these informations, they were successful in rediscovering or reclaiming Bordua in 17th century. And if there were no sources like oral sources or other such sources, that is folklore, folk tales, legends, it would not be possible to rediscover Bordua, since at that time there was no provisions of any recorded history. This will complement and supplement. So I would like to cite here or repeat here that this will complement or supplement the information already in the accounts of some communities. As I say, communities of Tiwas, as I say, the communities of Mishings, as I said, the Sunwal Kosaris, they have also their own source of information, that is from legends, from folklore, folk tales, etc., etc. Northeast India, that fill gaps in the ethnographic data brings out now and previously unknown facts about the tribes. Apart from that, I would like to cite here or share here very important information, that is Bonghauli. Bonghauli is a kind of history which is being told by some Budha Bhakotas or some Satriyas of Assam, and they write down this, note down this particular oral sources regarding the origin of a particular Bangha or family of Mahapurush Shankardeva and his descendants. We can say that traditions, folklores, legends are important tool to search one's history. As oral traditions transmitted the fact visualized by the orator from the earliest to present time, we should be impartial. The first point is the point of maintaining impartiality. Without maintaining impartiality, it is very difficult to record oral sources. That is the interviewer and interviewed, the person from whom we collect data and sources. We should be impartial and try to draw the reality. What is wrong, what is right? Since that person was not perhaps in that period of time on which he was talking about or on which he is providing some information. The variations of traditional stories are because of variations of places. Some peoples were in a position or are in a position to highlight his own family. If he is taken as a source, then the historians would be in a very difficult position. So he must be an impartial person so that we may have a good quality of oral history. So Harold Innis, the mixture of oral and the written traditions in the writing of Plato, enabled him to dominate the history of the West. In West, we have seen, as I already mentioned in my early part of my lecture, that is the Thucydides and Herodotus. These two particular historians, the father of history, Herodotus, and Thucydides, he was also known as the oral historians, the mixture of the oral and the written traditions in the writing of Plato also enabled him to dominate the history of the West, as quoted by Harold Innis. And I have to finish my speech. I have to share my speech. Rather, I'm sharing my speech with my esteemed friends and esteemed scholars present here. And again, I thank a lot for a patient listening of my speech. And here I conclude my speech. And
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. This was indeed an enlightening speech that you have just spoken about. And I hope the participants here must have been highly enlightened with whatever you have just spoken about how you started with the theoretical aspect of it, and then you went into talking about Assam specifically, going to Meghalaya and Nagaland, and then eventually coming back to Norahatra, and how you were how it incorporated and amalgamated your work of the major research project that I was also thankfully a participant of, and you amalgamated everything into a nice conglomeration of the entire oral history thing. Extremely well informed, sir. Thank you so much. I would now request all the participants here to start with the deliberation process. If there are any queries or any questions that you would like to ask sir about the webinar, you can kindly do so. The discussion is open right now. Any questions coming up from the participants will be highly welcomed.
Dr. Hazarika, namaskar. It's Professor Jogen Kolita. Wonderful, excellent delivery. You are a very good scholar and good communicator too. And you are a principal administrator, but at the same time, you are a great scholar. I am talking from Guwahati University because I can understand.
it's my pleasure having such words and compliments from your side, sir.
And the work you did, and you are inspiring the young generation today. I am actually very happy, rather delighted to listen to you. So much of work you have done and so much of experiences you have. Because of time constraint, you are concluding. Otherwise, I think it's a huge task before you. And my point is that while we have so many things that we are doing so much, but we need to do so many more. And our time is too little, and things are too many. So what will be your suggestion to our scholars? Especially today, I can see more than 170, right from the beginning until now. They are listening very carefully to your deliberation. As I'm telling you, the time is too little, but things are too many. And Northeast is very huge. So what will be your suggestion to our researchers at present?
Thank you, sir. It's a great honor of having such words and from a scholar and from Kolita, sir. Sir, you have been working a lot in the field of zoology and other parts of the international relations also. Since I have already mentioned the writing of local history, this is a very backseated thing, right? If we go through the pages of history, the most of the histories were written in empirical style by the Britishers. So, deviating from that particular point, and most of the recent historians, they have been doing a lot in writing new way of history writing, that is the peasant history, that is very much popular right now. Then if we're going to write history in a true sense of the term, not following the traditional way of writing, that is very important at this present context, since we have been fighting with each other right now for ethnic conflict and such other things. We have been dividing ourselves. Our souls are divided. So it's a very tragic thing since we are lacking in historical knowledge. So without deviating from our origin, that is, we have to admit that we are the son of great Mahabharata, Bharata Varsha. Without deviating from that particular point, we must have studied our local history. Local, in a sense, I have already mentioned the history of Morigaon. It's very important. History of Morigaon. If we highlight the history of Morigaon, then we will get a lot of things regarding the Jungal Bolohu, regarding the Gubha Rajya. So many Rajyas were there. Petty chieftaindons were there. Right from to Gubha to, that is Morigaon, that is Gubha Rajya, that is the Khola, Neli, Somoria, that is Beltola. So many kingdoms were there. And where they did loss. If we study local history and banking on the last stock of oral historians, that would be a very good thing for young historians. And in this context, if it is possible, if time permits, I am always ahead. I am always with you, the young scholars who are present here, and I would like to help everyone in this area. Regarding, I would like to say, sir, one thing I would like to share here, that is the history of Barabhuyas, which is being beautifully explained and written by none other than Harinarayan Datta Barua. Datta Barua was a mere school teacher, LP school teacher, getting a salary of 20 rupees only. But he was the master of all things. He created a lot. He created Bhagavata for us. He created the Kayastha Samaja Itivitra, one of the voluminous book of Assam history. So we are very much indebted to this particular type of scholars who showed our path a long way back, but we are not treading behind. We are not taking that apart. So regarding the young scholar, I'm not talking to our elder friends and our principal sir and Jogen Kolita sir, since Jogen Kolita sir raises this question. And my point is that please follow the path of our forefathers, but banking on the oral history, which must be very much realistic one. As I tell, sir, as I already mentioned, that no one should be in a position to highlight his family or his creations, his line of thinking. He must be deviated from that point of expression. If it is going on, then India, Assam is a very much important place. Northeast India. I am not going to speak of Northeast India. So many states are there. If we look into our state only, then we will have definitely be enlightened with a lot of history which are full of resources. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. This was indeed enlightening as a research scholar. I don't know if I do consider myself young anymore, but I think it's an experience for myself as well to go into the local history, look into the marginalized people, talk to them, know about their history. This is what we should do as young historians, young scholars of history, actually. Any further questions coming up? Would be highly welcomed. Anybody wanting to ask anything? The discussion is open for the deliberations. Anybody wanting to ask anything can. We have 10 minutes for the deliberation session.
Question maybe in the chat box.
I am looking into that, sir. It's just feedback.
So I have a question. I have a question actually, not question actually, to our Bhattakur sir.
Yeah.
Bhattakur
Okay.
sir. Since you are in a place which is very much full of ethnic groups, so I believe you will definitely encourage our young historians, local historians. So many historians are there, and I have met Dr. Hatem Ali also. He is a very good historian, and Samadar, Monesor, Deuri, I have already mentioned. And with discussion, with having discussion with this type of resource persons and orators, you definitely make a major research project on creating history of Morigao and Central Assam. Sir, please.
Yeah. Actually, our history department in our college, only 2 sanctioned posts are there. As a premier higher education institute in the district, we must lead our society. But due to the shortage of our faculty
Yes,
members,
Yes, that I know, sir.
due to the shortage of our faculty members, we could not go in a proper way. And one of our youngest teachers, already you have told in your speech that he has died in last hour.
Yes, Himanshu.
Yeah, he was a very
Very good
energetic.
scholar. Very good scholar.
Yeah, he was a very energetic and good scholar. We expected from him lots of things. He involved in our college, in our society in such a way that we are expected a lot from him. But unfortunately, he died in unidentified disease. Still, now we are going with our existing faculty members. And we hope that we are always encouraging them to involving in academic exercises. Such
I am also not far from your side.
I know.
Take
I'm
me
associated with
as your
actually.
associate.
I was very much fortunate that I was associated with your college administration also.
Yes.
And and I hope that our energetic teachers, our energetic teachers will lead our society, and that they will come up with some more and more research activities. Yeah. So I will always encourage them. How much I have capacity, I will always encourage them. That way we have to go ahead. That way.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
We'll now proceed to the next activity of the day. We have with us Professor Jogan Chandra Kolita, sir. He is the HOD of the Department of Geology, and he's also the Officer for International Relations, Guwahati University, and he is the governing body president of Morigao College. Thank you so much, sir, for being here today and listening to the entire session and being connected to us, giving us your valuable time. I would now request you to deliver a short speech for us and enlighten us with your kind words, sir. Sir, your mic is muted.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Suman Das. Actually, I could learn so many things today. Though, as you know, I am from Prani Vigyan, zoology, and I do some educational work to empower students, mainly young students and scholars and faculty members. I do help the colleges to grow and develop. I work with many esteemed principals so that they can, we can share their ideas, because ideas are most important. As Dr. Hazarika, he talked about very briefly about his little bit of work. He did so much work because he's a good researcher. As I said, that from Guwahati University, I am proud of you, Dr. Hazarika. We are proud of you. The people of Assam, will be proud of you, and you are doing for the entire region. And I would like to express that Morigao College is also getting a very dynamic principal, Dr. Borthakur, a man of mathematics, and very dynamic, esteemed colleagues. I interacted with all the faculty members during our academic audit, and I found that all are working very hard, because they talk about, today's principal mentioned about minimum number of faculty. We have many problems, but they never talk about the problems. Being the president of GB many months, they always talk about their strength. So therefore, when they know about their strengths, and they can work with a smile. So that is my Okay, please, sir, that today, esteemed principal and the head of the department, Dr. Deepak Kolita, and Dr. Suman, Nikhil, Raj Vallabh, all of them, they are together. And our, as you have already mentioned, Vice Principal, Honorable Dr. Hemlata Sharma, always with us in all the seminars, conference, webinars, discussion, all the faculty members, very senior to very junior, Dr. Arunima Sharma to Suman Das. So that way we are working like a family. As I have already mentioned that alumni connection is a very difficult task, not easy, but this department has connected the alumni. So they are again adding their strength and they are more stronger now because they have the alumni and you never know how many alumni will be in coming few years. And therefore, as you are a person of history, so history makes men wise. Without knowing history, no civilization, no people, no community can grow to the optimum. We talk about British people, you see the Britishers, they know their history and they are creating history in our at the time of their rule, British rule, even to the entire northeastern region of India. So therefore, they know that if they know the history, it will be very easy to develop strategy for future development. What nowadays we talk about sustainable way of living, sustainable development goal. So therefore, I am so happy, and my appeal to our both the principals, because principal of Dean College, Dr. Hazarika, and principal of Morigaon College, together with all esteemed participant friends and my esteemed colleagues, that please connect your knowledge with School of Oriental and African Studies, London. Okay? SOAS. SOAS. Please connect because you know. So you share with SOAS. Today, even through Google, Sumandas can help all of us. He can tell us how you can present there, how you can. I'm very happy. The resource person is mentioning about making major resource research project. And Dr. Lilakanta Bhattacharya agreed. And being the president, I approve. So this is the dynamic way of doing things. Because you are talking about the historian of Morigaon, historian of Assam, historian of India, and historians of the world. So therefore, my appeal to all of you, my young colleagues mainly, please connect. I think Dr. Hazarika will always help us. Please connect with SOAS London. That is the greatest platform so that you can work and interact with the very renowned personality in your field. And also the Center of Southeast Asian Studies, University of Oxford, okay, where I found one girl, Bhumi Teguri. I think she was from Dibrugarh College, then from Mumbai. Then she was in that particular center, and the director of the center told my vice chancellor at that time that you are the first vice chancellor coming from India to Oxford, this particular center of Southeast Asian Studies. So therefore, I would like to request both the principal, please go and talk to those people there in Oxford platform. You can go because Dr. Bhattacharya visited with me many countries, including China, London, and Japan. And finally, I want to pay a huge tribute to late Dr. Himangsu, because it was a great shock and a great loss to the entire humanity. So paying homage to Dr. Himangsu, I wish the Department of History will grow as they like, and Dr. Iman Hazarika will be happy to deliver at least one talk every month to our esteemed Morigaon College. 1 month, every month, one talk every month, and it will be organized by History Department. Thank you, Deepak, and thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. Indeed, we were thinking, Deepak sir was already having the idea of organizing monthly study circle for the history department already. So we will talk about and go about doing that eventually. We also have with us today, and he has been there since the beginning of the session, Dr. Ranjit Kumar Kalita, sir. He is the president, he is the coordinator of IQAC of Morikav College. I request him to speak a few words for us because he has been there constantly guiding us as well. Sir, could you please speak a few words for us?
Hello, Suman. আচলতে মই প্ৰস্তুত নহয় ক'বলৈ মই আজি শুনিছিলোহে কিন্তু মানে তথাপিতো মই মেথামেটিক্সৰ ছাত্ৰ কিন্তু বুৰঞ্জী শুনি ভাল লাগে বুৰঞ্জী পঢ়ি ভাল লাগে সেইকাৰণে আজি ছাৰৰ পৰা হাজৰিকা ছাৰৰ পৰা বহুত নতুন কথা শিকিলো আৰু মানে তেখেতৰ পৰা আচলতে অয়েল হিষ্ট্ৰীটো কি এইটো আমাৰ আইডিয়া নাছিলে কিন্তু আজি তেখেতৰ পৰা গোটেই শুনি অয়েল হিষ্ট্ৰীটোৰ বিষয়ে অলপ ভালদৰে জানিলো আৰু এতিয়াৰ পৰা হিষ্ট্ৰী বিশেষকৈ হিষ্ট্ৰী যিবোৰ ৱেবিনাৰ আহিব নিশ্চয় মানে অলপ প্ৰস্তুতি হৈ পেলাই জয়েন কৰিম গতিকে মোৰ পৰা আৰু বিশেষ ক'বলগীয়া নাই এইখিনিয়ে আৰু
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We'll now proceed. And actually, it's an honor for the Department of History that we have actually collaborated with the Alumni Association of Morikav College. And they have been there constantly there, from the beginning with the making of the posters and collaborating with us with holding regular meetings with us as well. So with that note, we would now request Junmuni Deka. She is the member of the Alumni Association of Morikav College History Department. I request Junmuni Deka to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the Department of History. Over to you.
Thank you. Honorable Governing Body, Morikav College, Professor Jugen Chandra Kalita sir, SOD, Department of Zoology, Guwahati University. Respected Principal of Morikav College, Dr. Lilakanto Borthakur sir. Respected Dr. Biman Hazarika sir, Principal of Thi College, and respected all my teachers and all the participants. I, on behalf of History Department, Morikav College, would like to a hearty vote of thanks to all delegates of the webinar for their presence and contribution to make this webinar. I would like to thank to our honorable resource person, Dr. Biman Hazarika sir, for his presence in the session. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your inspiring and motivating us with your inspiring and motivating presentations. I would like to thank Professor Jugen Chandra Kalita sir for his specious present. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our principal sir for his his even guide us and motivate us to organize such a webinar. I would like to thank especially HOD of History Department, Morikav College, Deepak Kalita sir, and all the teachers, Department of History, Morikav College, for organize such a informative webinar. I must not forget to thank the organizing team and volunteers for working hard from the last few days to make this webinar successful. I would like to thank all participants for their active participation. Thank you once again, all participants and all for great success. Thank you.
জন্মনি বঢ়িয়া দিছা দেই ভোট অফ থ্যাংকস থ্যাংক ইউ মানে বৰ আজি আৰু এটা কথা ক'ব মন গৈছে দেই এইখন মানে ৱেবিনাৰখনৰ এটা বৈশিষ্ট্য দেখিলো সদায় কি হয় তাৰমানে 2 ঘণ্টা পাৰ হৈ যায় কেতিয়াবা 2.5 ঘণ্টা হৈ যায়, বহুত জেগাত কৰি থাকোঁ মই। কিন্তু আজি মানে ইমান স্পেচিফিক হৈছে আৰু বিষয়টো ইমান ডাঙৰ, তথাপি ডক্টৰ হাজৰিকাই কিন্তু এটা মিৰাকল কৰি দিলে। আৰু এতিয়াও আমাৰ 1.5 ঘণ্টা হোৱা নাই নেকি, নহয়নে? আমাৰ মানে মই ভাবিছো যে আজি এইখনক কিন্তু এটা প্ৰিন্সিপালে এটা ট্ৰিট দিব লাগিব ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্ট অফ হিষ্ট্ৰী। এইটো বাকী থাকি গৈছে দেই ডক্টৰ বৰঠাকুৰ। কেনেকুৱা ৰিচাৰ্চ পাৰ্চন আনিছে আৰু কেনেকুৱা টু দি পইণ্ট। আৰু এই আমাৰ ডক্টৰ ৰঞ্জিত কলিতাই ক'বৰ দৰে যে আজি মানে আমি কিন্তু এই নন হিষ্টৰিয়ান মানুহখিনিয়ে বহুত শিকিব লাগিব। সঁচাকৈ আমি আমাৰ যে বস্তুখিনিৰ বিষয়ে আমি জানিব লাগে আৰু